Hola amigos, bien o no, y saludos desde Inglaterra. El tema de hoy es cómo y dónde podemos empezar con una nueva lengua para avanzar nuestra fluidez y confianza para hablar. ¿Cómo puede empezar y dónde? So, ese es el tema de hoy. So, okay, it's a common question I get asked quite a bit. Where to start? What to do? You know, people are new to English. Sometimes they come to me and say, well, I would like to study more, but my level is very basic. Where should I start? What should I, how do I do this? How do I get better? Well, now the level basic is a very wide sense. You know, where would you start? So really, start with hello. Can you do that? Do you understand how that works in the language? Saying hello, saying goodbye. Can you talk about things that you have done today? Can you talk about what happened yesterday? Or things you'd like to do tomorrow? So in that sense, you're happy to change the language for talking about what's happening now, yesterday, tomorrow, so the present, past, and future. So today, yesterday, tomorrow. So once you've got past general greetings, salutations, this kind of thing, past, present, future in a very basic way, can you deal with asking questions like directions? Can you give some sense of direction in the sense of, okay, this is where I live, this is what I do, this is the type of work I do, something to say about yourself. Can you give directions? Can you understand them? Can you ask them? Because that uses a whole lot of vocabulary just dealing with that, navigating around a town. Because you also get to use numbers. So use of numbers for distance, time, telephone numbers, these kind of things. And the kind of questions we normally ask, very basic questions, just to ask for things. Can I have so many of these, please, when you go shopping? How far is it? What time is it? Can you help me with this? Basic kind of questions. So in English we have the who, when, why, what, where, and how. These kind of question forms. Do you understand how they work? So if you see it, you know it's a question. Or if you hear it, you know that's a question. If you're happy with those and you can make basic questions, then really the step beyond that is to look at the real reason you need to use the language. Where are you going to be using it? What type of situations? And start modelling those conversations as widely as you can, using lots of reading, lots of listening that's relevant to that particular task. Once you're happy in that situation, then you can expand it. I think the bigger problem is people can get beyond the point where they can do that. They can do the say hello, say their name, talk about what job they do, talk about what happened yesterday and what's happening now and what's going to happen tomorrow, and then they're not sure what else to do. So I would say look at a task you do that you're very familiar with, that you can use the language in. Look at that, expand the vocabulary that you would use in that particular task. Get very happy with how you would say those phrases. That's where you've got to do a lot of reading, a lot of listening, listen, repeat, get as close as you can to the sound that you need to say those things. When you're happy and confident that you can do that in a situation you're very familiar with, then you start reading around that, go for a different situation, new vocabulary, a bit more practice, and eventually you can piece all these things together, and that's when we start getting much closer to that fluency. But it takes time. But as with all things, pick somewhere to start. Pick the thing you're familiar with, work on that, get your confidence up in that particular situation, and then work it from there. So, I hope that one's useful. Déjame saber en los comentarios, como siempre. But for now, or say cheerio.